Sup nerds, I'm Wes.
And I'm Aaron.
We're Neverboard Gaming, and we're back with another Kickstarter preview, this time for Chai from Deep Aqua Games.
I'm not feeling like energized right now. I wish I had a glass of tea to pep me up or something.
We can make that happen.
So while we let this tea cool down, we'll talk about making actual tea in this game. Chai is a game where you'll be collecting ingredients and serving customers the tea of their choice. Each player takes charge of a tea house of a certain type, like this. He's got white tea and black tea and green tea, and then some other ones.
Tea, I think, and
another weird name.
Whatever tea has blue leaves.
Blue. So as you fulfill these orders, you'll be getting victory points, and at the end of the game, the most victory points wins. Coins in this game are also victory points, which I've seen come down to people winning the game. So if you can collect money by going to the market or selling off some of your ingredients throughout the special actions, you could win the game that way too. This game is very accessible, very approachable. It kind of has a very Splendor or
Century Spice Road.
Yes, thank you. That was the one that was right on the tip of my tongue, like the spice trading. Yeah, so it definitely is very intro-y. It definitely can have some deep thought. And, do I go for the really simple, easy to make teas, or do I collect a bunch of ingredients and make the high point ones and go for my victory that way?
It's definitely a casual game. It's good for intro gaming or gateway gaming, whatever your group calls it. But it's still definitely an incredibly enjoyable game. I think comparing it to Splendor and Century Spice Road is really good because it's that kind of feel. But even like Splendor has the engine building to it, and this doesn't have that. So it's maybe one step down from Splendor, but the thing it does have is the market, which is a really cool thing. It's almost like Candy Crush here, because when you buy something from the market, there's the different colors, and it's lemon and lavender and, the different things you can add to your tea. And when you buy one, you buy a whole group of colors, but you only pay once for the most expensive thing in that group. And then once I take them off, the whole board slides down, and then there's a whole new not a whole new pattern, but all the things that slide down are now touching other things. So you can really strategize, like, okay, if I buy this thing, this is going to slide down, and now I can get 6 purples by only paying for 1, and that can really add up because you can buy as many times as you want.
You couldn't get 6 purples for 1. Because you can only fit 3 in the one column. I'm sorry.
I meant to just say in one purchase.
For one purchase, yes. He was right. That's what he meant.
And that's a really big thing in the game because you want to have a ton of ingredients so that you can complete as many orders as possible, because you're only going to complete as many orders per round as there are players. So in a 5-player game, 5 orders are going to be complete. So obviously if you can complete 2 or 3 of those in that round, that's a really big deal because it means other people aren't completing orders.
And I think that is one of the more interesting things about the way the rounds are in this game. Instead of having a round where it's like, okay, we're going to play 4 turns, or we're going to play until everybody completes 1 order or something, having it where it's very competitive. You are a tea house and you're trying to sell more than this one, sell more than that one. You're like, okay, I serve 3 customers. What are you guys doing? Hurry up, and there's 2 customers to fight over. Another thing that's interesting is each one of these cups, none of them are actually belong to you, so they're just sitting out here just kind of in a middle area. And when you go and dump your ingredients, you can choose any cup. You're like, here's the stuff I need to make it, and what's my tip? And you flip over the little tip coin that's next to it, and it ranges from 1, 2, or 3. There's only 1 3 that ever could flip up, so if you happen to get that 3, it's just like, yeah, I got a really good tip. And those 3 coins.
There's a little bit of gambling where you're like, all right, which cup should I make it in? Because one of these could be a 2, and so you put it like, oh, it was just a 1. I should have gone with that one.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of stands out is that each player has their own deck of cards that has your tea house's special drinks, and you could say.
Yeah, the person with a black tea house has a deck of black tea orders, and that gets shuffled in.
Yeah, so you'll deal yourself one, you deal one to the play area, and then you shuffle it all up and stuff. And to make that tea, so I started right here with a green tea. It's 15 points if I can complete this. So this is definitely a long game, end game one that I'm looking to score. I need a whole bunch of lemons and a whole bunch of ginger. So I'm gonna collect towards that one, but having it here in front of me, it's reserved. Nobody can complete it, so I can kind of work on that whenever. Everything that's out in the market, anybody can complete at any time, or they could reserve it. So I might want to reserve it so that nobody else can complete it, or hurry up and get the ingredients and finish it before anybody else can do it.
And that also leads to a little bit of almost hate drafting in the game, because if Aaron goes after me and I see out there that like, oh, he has all the ingredients he needs to complete that, I'm going to go ahead and reserve that just so he can't complete it, because maybe I'm not quite to a point where I can complete a goal and I just want to keep the round going, or I don't want Aaron to get ahead because no one likes Aaron. The nice thing, though, is that when you do reserve, it's not like that's your only thing you do. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to skip my turn just to reserve this in hate draft. You also get to do one of the 3 special actions, which are over here. The thing I like about those is one of them replaces each turn. So whoever's turn it is starting the next round gets to draw a new one from the deck and replace one of the previous ones before it. So you can either make it really easy to get stuff from the pantry, or you can make it harder or easier to mess with people, and you can kind of control what those special actions are.
One thing they did to kind of keep a little bit of economy, between each player is we're saying that each player has their own deck, but they get shuffled up, and so there's the different tea leaves on the cards that show, okay, this is a green tea drink. For somebody to make this, they need a green tea leaf. Me being the green guy, I'm the only one that has these leaves. And if you want to make this drink, you're going to have to pay me for one of these leaves. You pay me 1 coin, you get a leaf, and then you can make this drink.
And there's no way to say no. You can't be like, no, you don't get a leaf. Forget you.
Yeah. The only no is if you go to make it, you don't have the coins. You're like, sorry, you can't buy it from me.
Or if they don't have any more leaves.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. You can, if you notice that somebody's holding, they've drafted one. This happened in our game. Somebody drafted a green one, and it is getting to the point where there's 1 green left. So I was like, I'm just gonna make this really cheap green one, and then they cannot make that one because there'll be no green ones left in the game, no green tea leaves left, and they're just gonna be kind of SOL.
And I do really like how those get shuffled in for the different houses, because it really helps the distribution of orders per players. It's not like in a 2-player game there's going to be 5 different 15-point cards out there. There's only going to be 2, 1 for each of us. So that really helps distribute the points a little bit and almost keep there from being as much of a runaway leader, because I can't score 4 15-point cards. At most, I can only score as many as there are players in the game, and the more players there are, the less likely I'm going to complete all of the 15-point cards in the game. The other thing I think is really interesting is the tiebreaker, which you would think like, oh, well, tiebreakers aren't a big deal, but our first game, it came down to a tiebreaker, and the tie goes to whoever completed the least amount of tea orders. So being efficient, because in that game, I was like, bam, 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 and I think I completed like 3 orders in a row. I shut down an entire round by myself, and then got another one because I had a super awesome order in the market and just filled up my board. And you still were able to win because the ones you completed were worth a lot more points than the tons that I completed that weren't worth as many points.
Another thing to add on to the cups per player, the amount of completions per for player count, is it kind of leads to definitely being control. You can control how long this game takes. If you want to rush it, like Wes was doing, just doing the little ones, you can do that. You can just be like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the pantry, get these 2 ingredients, and that's exactly what I need to complete this one. Boom, because at the end of your turn you can complete one, and if you can collect the ingredients you need in 1 turn to complete one, and then on the next turn collect the ingredients and complete one, you can rush this game. But if you want to, go to the market, get a whole bunch of ingredients, fill your pantry up, go beyond the limit and have to dump ingredients so that you can get the exact combination of ingredients you need.
It's to complete like 3 orders. I guess you only complete 1 order per turn. Never mind.
But you could fill it up and be
ready 3 turns in a row to complete orders.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I meant to say.
I did play this with my fiance and my 2 neighbors they're really new to games, and they enjoyed it. They it was easy for them to grasp. It's like, okay, you look at the card, you see what you need, you go and get those things. Going to the market and paying your coins and doing that Candy Crush style, like moving and collecting, like that was a lot of fun. Like it's really rewarding to go, okay, I'm gonna spend 2 to get these lemons, and then everything's gonna shift down. I'm gonna spend 1 to get this mint, and everything's gonna shift down. I'm gonna spend 1 to get 2 lavender. Like, and you're like, oh, now I have all of this stuff in my pantry. I'm ready to make some tea. And then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna actually reserve this card and take this special action to let me swap things out or delete things out of the market to like refresh it in a way. Like, there's a lot of really simple but fun little things going on in this game, and I highly recommend playing it.
I definitely think, like Aaron said, it's a great game to either bring people into the hobby, or if your group doesn't like super heavy games, or you want kind of a light, I'm not going to say filler, but like a lighter, like recuperation game. Like once you play a huge game and you're like, oh my gosh, that took 4 hours, now we just need something to chill at the end of the night. Some people have gone home. This is perfect for that. I absolutely love the artwork for it. It's a little bit on the cartoony side, but I think it really fits the lighter theme of the game. And it's like really pretty and colorful, and it's not like that chibi anime that I know turns some people off. Some people love it. I think this is very like unoffensively cartoony, I'll say, where it's not like in your face, it's silly and cartoony, but it's kind of like Dixit art.
So it goes without saying that what we have here is prototype quality. You're not going to get IKEA glass cups in your version.
Or like 3D printed Starbursts.
Like, yeah, when I pulled it out, they're like, are these Starbursts? I was like, no, they're not.
Wait. No, it's not.
We actually have Scythe metal coins here when we were playing. You're not going to get Scythe metal coins. If you wanted those, too bad.
But you might get them, just not as part of this Kickstarter project.
Yeah, Dan, the Shy Guy, he told us that there will be metal coins somewhere on the Kickstarter, so we're not really sure. We're not privy to that information.
You might unlock them. You might pay extra for them. You should, if that's the case. Yeah. Either one of those. Either unlock them or pay extra for them, because I can see this game being one that you want to check out. Again, it's not complex. It's simple, but it's definitely solid in that. Like, there's a lot of games where like, oh, this was basic. Like, this game, I'm not going to say it's basic, but it is simple. And I think if you like Splendor or Century Spice Road
or Sagrada,
that whole genre of like kind of abstract-y, set collection-y, intro or lighter games, this game's going to be right up your alley. Which is why we're going to have a link to the Kickstarter campaign up there or down there. Click either one of them. It's going to take you there either way.
Either way, you should subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.
My tea's empty.
Like, he didn't even drink it. It's
Really hot. It's so hot.